Hello guys, and this afternoon I'll be showing you some of the nursery beds. Now about 2 weeks ago I nurtured some nursery beds, as in I put some pepper on the nursery, and I put the peppers on the nursery to find out. If you're looking at this, you see some places where there are grasses in the middle. Those are the pepper. So now look at this place. Some of the pepper survive, some did not survive. Let me turn. Look at this side. These are peppers. I don't know if you can see them. These are peppers. These are peppers. You see, these are peppers. This survived. Now look at this other side. Turning back. See, some of them are just coming out. Some of them are just coming out. That's the hair. And look at, if you count these beds right here, if you count this bed right there, 1, this pepper, 2, pepper germinate, 3, the pepper germinate, the 4th and the 5th and the 6th line, the pepper did not survive, as in they did not even come out of the soil. They, instead of them to germinate, they decayed on the bed. Going closer, look at this place. If you look down right here, you see these are pepper. You see, you can see these are pepper that survived. Look right here, you see pepper that survived. But if you come to this bed here, none survive. Rather, instead of them to survive, see, instead of them to survive, it's decayed, it gets spoiled. Actually, there are different types of pepper, but what I'm trying to point out, see is the pepper. Instead of it to survive, it gets decayed, it's spoiled. These other beds too, see, it gets decayed, see, it gets spoiled. The third bed. Now let's imagine I've collected money from you, or you've collected money from somebody, and you say, look, I'm going to farm for you, or I'm going to cultivate a farm for you, and you give them a timeline, a date timeline, and they say, okay, come back in the next 3 months, your pepper will be ready for harvest. Imagine those ones that did not germinate, or these ones at the beginning that are not coming up fine, or these ones that are coming up fine. What will you report back to your investor as a farmer? This is where most farmers have challenges. I've been there myself. Yes, I've been there severally. Now, why am I bringing up this afternoon? That's why I brought the idea of you should learn yourself. See, if with the education I have, with the little knowledge I have on farm now, if I give somebody money to farm for me, I know definitely it could be a plus, it could be a minus, as in, provided I know the person might be trustworthy or is really working towards what I want them to work, because there's possibility he might not get anything from it. He might not. See, I know you don't like to hear this story. I know you don't want to hear what I'm saying right now, but most of the time, this is what happened on the farm. So I've shared my story several times. I've shared my experience several times. Yeah, I know there are people that are out there to scam. I know there are people that are out there to say, okay, bring your money, and they will not do what you are expected. But I'm also showing you that there are possibilities. There are a lot of possibility that will not make your peppers to survive. Look at this one on this bed. It's definitely survived. Now, if I transplant it, there's still another thing. On the bed, there's possibility they will survive or still not survive until you start harvesting. So that's why when somebody is giving you quotation, or okay, this is what you will get from a farm, you really need to learn to understand it yourself. If you don't learn, it's going to be a challenge. Okay, let me give you an example. Yesterday on a Zambia page, somebody said, how many tons of tomatoes can we get per hectare? And I wrote there, I said, it depends on so many things. It depends on your soil. It depends on your soil management. It depends on your quality of your seed. It depends on your water management. If you don't give it regular water, I know I've mentioned about water some other time. It depends on your soil, your water, your seed, your maintenance, then the weeding. If weed took over your plant, you are not expecting anything, as in, if you allow weed to take over your plant, it means you cannot get anything. But you see, when I just give you and say, okay, from an hectare, you are going to get 50 tons of tomato. You start planting 1 hectare of tomato. And at the end of the day, you possibly did not get nothing because your soil was not properly treated. As in, you need to put manure, you need to mix the manure in the right quantity. If you put manure, if you don't wet it properly, the plant will die. If the manure touch your plant too much, sometimes composted, if you use wet manure, your plant will die. If you don't use adequate, there's a lot of techniques, and that's why I keep saying, learn. Read books. Practically I have How to Farm Profitably is a very good book. You read it and you still need to attend practical training. I'm being sincere with you. Now, when I wrote about the factors on the Zambia timeline, somebody said, why are you trying to prove you know so much? And I told the guy, I said, look, most of us, when you tell somebody and say 50 tons per acre on tomato, you've jumped. You did not tell him, you did not explain to him or her the steps he needs to take. If you don't put water, you get 0. If you don't put manure, you get 0. If you don't do pruning, you get 0. If you don't transplant very well, you get 0. So what do? I just mentioned this and this and this you need to put together. Your plant population, because, okay, if you plant 5,000 tomatoes if you plant 5,000 tomatoes and I'm planting 25,000 plants on the same size of land, you cannot expect to get the same yield like I will get. Okay? So, like I said, I just came to show you why most times failed. And remember, if you watch some of my videos, go to my YouTube channel, go over all those videos again. They are really very good. They are very educative. I know I've mentioned watering. If you leave your farm for somebody to be watering for you, you are not checking it. You are on your own. If you leave the weeding to somebody and you are not doing it, you are on your own. So, and that is why, even despite the fact that I'm not doing a large farm right now, every morning I'm still in the farm doing something. I finished working this morning and I was already even in the house. I just felt, let me share this little bit with people that really want to farm. The first step, number 1, number 2, number 3 is for you to learn. Practically, read books, learn the practical, learn from an experienced farmer. I'll be having a training in June, a practical on farm training. Yes, you can come to the farm, you come around there. There's accommodation for you, but it's a paid training. Yeah, so you can start booking for that. I've been doing that for the past 7 years now. Yeah, 7 years. So you can join the train, you come in and you learn practically, and you're going to be asking questions. Don't mind me, I'm lecturing, but I'm also removing weed from my pepper because some of the peppers are ready for transplanting. So see you in another class, and don't forget to share this with somebody else because it might be useful for your next neighbor.